Introducing our next moderator and health tech reporter for Axios Pro. Please welcome Erin Brodwin.
Hello. How's everybody doing? Can we get that a little bit louder? Nice, thank you. So before we get started, I just want to remind all of you, you can be tweeting along with us using the hashtag AxiosBFD. So I think we've already covered many BFDs in finance. We've heard from many BFDs in climate tech. And now we're about to hear from the only sector that I care about, healthcare. Our next guest has been at the helm of leadership across General Motors, where she spent 25 years, another 4 at Amazon, and now she's the CEO of Alto Pharmacy. Please join me in welcoming Alicia Boler-Davis. All right, so quick disclosure before we get started. You, Alicia, are a board member as of a few months ago of JP Chase.
Yes.
JP is also one of our sponsors of this event. This session is not a sponsored session, it is purely editorial. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we?
Yes.
So you've said that Alto is in the business of improving health and not just delivering prescriptions. Can you tell me more about that? What do you mean?
Yeah, I think when people think about a digital pharmacy, they think about, okay, everything's going to happen online, it's going to be fulfilled and then delivered to me. And that is a very, very important aspect. But Alto is really about improving outcomes, making it easier for, doctors, patients, payers, and pharmacies to operate, because it's a really disjointed system.
Right.
And so we've built this technology platform that enables us to make it easier to ensure patients get the medication that they need at the right time and for the right price.
Yeah. And in terms of outcomes, is that something that you track? How do you know that you're improving health and not just delivering?
Because our adherence rate is much higher. So we have a 40% higher adherence rate, and we track adherence in the fact that people actually receive their medication.
And that's higher than just the standard?
It's higher than a standard walk-in pharmacy.
Got it.
Much higher.
Okay. So you've had an epic career, 25 years at General Motors, 4 years at Amazon. What made you leave all that for a startup, especially a startup in one of the most highly regulated and probably difficult industries out there, healthcare?
Yeah, I enjoyed my 25 years at General Motors. I had an opportunity to work in so many different areas, and then working at Amazon during the pandemic was just amazing. We doubled the company in 2 years. And so, I was just thinking about what I wanted to do next, and I really wanted to continue working in an industry where I can have an impact, where I could really leverage the skills that I had and make a difference. At that point, it was like, I really want to make a difference. And I met the founders, Matt and Jamie of Alto, and they had, a great start, built this great technology platform, and I thought I could help. And so I said, why not? I kind of was like, why not? I can always go work for another Fortune 50, Fortune 25 company if I wanted to, but why not go work at a startup that was really trying to fix an antiquated system and have better outcomes for people.
So I have to ask, Amazon also has a pharmacy.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider working for Amazon Pharmacy?
I did not.
How come?
I did not, because the role I had at Amazon, I had such a broad role at Amazon. I was responsible for global customer fulfillment. So if you think about all the fulfillment warehouses around the globe, I had robotics, I had technology, I had building design, customer service. I had such a huge remit. And I didn't think being at Amazon doing that, it would make sense for me to go to something that was within Amazon that was totally focused on pharmacy. The difference here, I think, at Alto is that it's more than fulfillment and delivery. It's a technology platform. It's looking at providers, providing solutions for the doctors, making it easy for us to comply with the payers' requirements, and fixing outcomes for patients, and being able to do that within the framework that was established. And if I wanted to change it, I could. Right? So I felt like there's a bigger opportunity, I think, the way that Alto was approaching it. And I love Amazon. I'm still a huge customer of Amazon.
Do you have Prime?
I have Prime. I have been a Prime shopper. I think I'll always be a Prime shopper, and I still have a lot of stock. So I love Amazon. I want Amazon to do well. And the pharmacy space, Erin, is such a big space. I mean, it has a TAM of $550 billion. There's room for a lot of people. And I think the more companies that are involved trying to fix it, it's just going to be better for patients. It's going to be better for customers.
So on that note, digital pharmacy is a notoriously tough business.
It's tough.
I mean, your rivals have faced not just massive layoffs, but there's been reports of bungled product rollouts, privacy violations, delays. It's a low margin business. So, I have to ask, is this business model of being a digital pharmacy tenable?
Look, it is a low margin business. I think I have an appetite for low margin. I worked in automotive for 25 years. And it is hard and it's complex, but it's important. And I do think there's a business model for it because there's a customer need for it. There's a definite, I believe, the way Alto is approaching it, a great product market fit. And I think because we're not just trying to solve it in delivering fulfillment, we're looking at where are the pain points. The founders, Matt and Jamie, they bought a pharmacy. They operated the pharmacy. And they understood where the pain points were, where the friction points were, and they created the technology to address that. And so I think in doing that, we've created value that we, quite frankly, haven't started monetizing yet. Like, we fixed a number of things that we can work with pharma companies, we can work with different payers in order to address some of the issues and not just really focus on the customers that come directly to us from providers. We can provide a solution that will help others as well. And that's why I think this approach with digital pharmacy can be successful. And I think we can even have better margins by applying what's already been built to some of the other problems that are there.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
So when you think about it, pharmacy, you may think about fulfillment and delivery, right? But there's so much that happens upstream from the time the prescription is written in the doctor's office, right? So the doctor writes the prescription, just like any other pharmacy. We receive it through the electronic health records, through the EHR, and then we're able to then take that, intake it. There's a lot that needs to happen with that, then billing. We've automated all of this. So by automating this, it makes higher quality. We're able to do it more efficiently, and then patients get the medication they need. In this automation, there might be therapeutic interchange agreements if one medication was prescribed, but there's another one that's cheaper to make better, then we can swap that with the approval of the provider, and we get that up front. So because we've done that, some of these workflows can be applied to specialty pharmacy, for instance. They do a lot of this, but it's all done manually. We're able to do this with a very high percentage of those workflows being done through automation. And so I think that's where value can be unlocked based on what's already built. And so we can do benefits investigations. We also have a team that can reach out and call and talk to patients and answer questions. And so there's a lot that's there that, quite frankly, we're starting to get some enterprise partnerships and to leverage some of this technology while we're still serving patients directly as well.
My understanding of Alto is that you do virtually no direct-to-consumer marketing.
Yes.
You just do doctor referrals.
Yes.
Does that actually work?
It's worked so far. We're over $1 billion in revenue, and we've grown purely through doctors referring patients to us. And doctors prefer patients to us because, number one, I think we make it easy. We know we make it easier for doctors to manage prescriptions because once the prescription is sent to us, and if there's questions or things that need to be changed, right now that happens at most places through phone calls and faxes. We've created a digital platform where that can happen electronically, and it's just much more faster, it's more efficient, and it takes less time in a doctor's office to manage it. So they see the value. They also see the value in higher adherence rates. And so that's why they refer patients to us. So that's how we've grown. It's proven to be a good channel for growth, but we are also pursuing some other partnerships where we can service more patients much faster.
Okay. I know you made an acquisition not too long ago, an acquisition of patients.
Acquisition of patients.
Tell me more about your strategy as far as build, partner, buy. Why make the acquisition? It was NowRx.
It was NowRx, and it wasn't an acquisition of the company, but the company was going to cease operations, right. And they had patients that were used to this experience of digital. And so they reached out to us, and we were servicing that area, and so we we acquired those patients, and we focused on making sure it was just a seamless transition through working with those patients and then some of the providers that were obviously prescribing to the patients. So we did that late last year, and it's been successful. That was a no-brainer, right? That was patients who were used to the type of service that we provide, and in the therapeutic areas that we are also focused on, and so we were able to do that.
Will you remain acquisitive?
Absolutely. I think the organic growth is really important, but I also think that there's opportunities for acquisition that can help us to really grow and leverage the platform that we've built. Yes.
One of the things I still struggle with, I mean, I asked you this already, in a way, digital pharmacy, as I said, tough business to be in. So many of your rivals have seen crippling problems or shut down entirely. Mm-hmm. What do you think Alto is doing differently that's made it able to avoid those pitfalls? I
think the way we've approached the problem, like I said, I think approaching the problem from looking at it from a provider's perspective, payer, pharmacy, and the patient, we've been able to create a solution. I think that is more holistic, and that has created more value and more stickiness, right? And so that's what I think is different, and we have more that we can extract from what's been built. And I don't think holistic, because it's just not, hey, it's not just patient facing. It's not just, hey, a patient send us, have your doctor send us the prescription and we'll fill it and ship it to you. It's broader than that, because we start with the provider. We start with the doctor. Right. And quite frankly, that's where the prescriptions start. So we start with providing a solution to them that makes it easier. And then we have, we have formularies that we have to comply with the pharmacy benefit managers or the payers, and so we built technology to make sure we're doing that consistently. And then we have a great app that makes it very easy to interface with the patients, or you can do it through the web, or we even have people that call, right? So we've just made it easy, and we've gone after the pain points that exist, and it's very complex. Like, one of the biggest surprises for me coming into this space was, you always hear this business is complex. Everyone's business is complex. This is complex. There's a lot of hands in this space, and I think that's where you follow the complexity. And I think that's where the opportunity for innovation and to, find better ways of solving problems. And Alto, quite frankly, has done a lot of that. And that's why I believe we're just getting started. Yeah. We are just getting started, and I'm really excited about what we're going to be able to do.
Speaking of hands, you mentioned PBMs, everyone's favorite three-letter word in healthcare. I mean, should PBMs exist? Why do PBMs still exist?
I understand why PBMs exist, because it allows employers. It took me a while, because I kept saying, now what do they do? Yeah. How are they creating value? But I put myself in a large employer's perspective, and if I have employees, I want someone, a company with expertise to manage the pharmacy benefit, to really be an expert in managing what type of medications are available, what the cost should be. That's not something as a company I would be an expert in. And so having expertise in that space, I think that's where the value comes in. So that's all I'm going to say. I can understand the concept behind it, but it's still another hand.
Of the behemoth strategics out there, we've got Walgreens, we've got Amazon is one. I wouldn't say behemoth, at least not yet, based on market share. It's pretty tiny. But which one do you think, which one's top of mind for you as presenting a potential threat to Alto or to other independent pharmacies?
Yeah, I don't think about them I think of them as huge incumbents. They have a large percentage of the market. They have lots of patients. They're creating a lot of value, and we're going at it in a very different way. I like to think that maybe what we built may be of use to them potentially one day. So I look at it more as maybe there's an opportunity to partner, and we can help solve this problem together, versus this is somebody I'm going after or someone's going after us. I think, like I said, it's a huge TAM, lots of patients, and there's so much room for improvement in this space. And I like to think about how we can partner.
Could you see your former employer, Amazon, working as a potential partner?
I haven't spoken with Amazon about being a partner, but I think they'd be a great partner.
Sorry for flipping through all these cards. It's my first time using cards. They are very nice, though. So, we've talked about algorithms a little bit and automation. To use, the favorite AI phrase, got to bring it up.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to change? How is it changing now, what you do at Alto, and how do you think it'll change the next, 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so we already use AI, in some of what we're doing, as patients come in and we have chatbots and things like that. But I think the generative AI that we're all reading and learning more about, I think there's lots of opportunity in our space to help with speed, quality, consistency of service using AI. And we're exploring that using this generative AI. I do think we have to, just be careful in how we do that. We obviously have lots of private information, private data for our customers and patients, and so we really need to be thoughtful around using that. But I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about using it where we have lots of manual actions remaining in spite of all the automation that we've put in place, and freeing up capacity for our pharmacists, technicians to do more things that are customer facing and that may not be manual, routine, not requiring a lot of thought. I would rather use some type of generative AI solution for that, and then apply them and their expertise in another way that creates value for the patients. That's the way I'm thinking about it. Yeah. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. I mean, if you talk to the team at Alto, they'll tell you this is something that we are excited about, and we see that it can actually help us to create more value. It's just got to be done the right way.
The digital health market today is not what it was 5 to 10 years ago. How has that impacted your ability to raise capital?
Yeah, look, the cost of capital is really, it's hard. I think it's hard for everyone. And I think, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think a very important metric was growth, high growth, super growth. And I think in this environment, you still need to have growth, but you have to have a path to profitability. And you have to be smart around how you're applying that capital, because it is challenging to raise in this environment, right? And so I do think that digital health, telehealth is still an area that investors are interested in because there's a huge market for it. And anytime you see an area like pharmacy, I'll use an example, is antiquated. It's not a great experience. There's lots of room for improvement. I think there's room for innovation. And I think there'll be capital for companies who show that they can grow and have a path to profitability in this tough market.
Has it impacted your ability to raise capital so far? Are you going to raise again?
We're going to raise again. We're actually actively talking now, and we are going to raise again. Yes.
Good to know.
Yep.
How long do you think it'll be until you start encroaching on behemoth companies, pharmacies' terrain? Is that even a goal? Is that the right question?
It's not a goal, but I think, we're $1 billion revenue. TAM is $550 billion. The big players have most of that. We're a small percent, and we're just going to keep growing, adding value, and leveraging technology in order to really create these great experiences and services. So I don't know. I think Alto has the opportunity to be a huge player in this space.
I thought about this question when we sat down and I gave that caveat, and I wasn't going to ask it. But now that we have a couple minutes left, I think I'm actually going to ask it. So Alto was an SVB customer. You sit on JP Morgan's board.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that? I mean, I imagine it was a little bit like, there's a fire happening and you're friends with the firefighter. What do you do?
Yeah, I wasn't really friends with the firefighter at that point because I hadn't gone to my first board meeting. But it was like a lot of companies who were customers of SVB, we had all of our money there.
Right.
And so when we started getting calls on that Thursday from some of our investors telling us to move our money, we were like trying to figure out, okay, what does that mean? It was a good thing that we had another commercial account set up, so that we can at least put the wire request in, and we did, but the money didn't move. So we were just like lots of other companies over the weekend trying to figure out, are we going to get our money? How are we going to make payroll? The good news is our investors were calling and very supportive around what do we need to do? We're there. And then I was happy, just like everyone else, on Sunday when I, saw that all of the deposits were going to be insured. And so I was really happy, but it was a very high tense, stressful, and it's kind of, you didn't know what to do, right? So you almost had to wait. But I will tell you that experience has me thinking about risk in a different way.
How so?
Thinking about, like, we had all of our money there.
Yeah.
And so SVB was a great bank, and and there's lots of great banks out there, but I think we just have to think about our strategy around our banking strategy. Where we have money, where we have account receivables coming in, what should that look like? Especially after that experience, if you just do the exact same thing you did before and not learn from it, then I think that's not being smart. So, but that was very, I'd say, pretty stressful, frenetic, uncertain weekend, and I was happy with the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great note to end on. I want to ask you one more thing before we go, which is, you said you're actively raising. Other than that benchmark, what's next for Alto? What should we be looking out for?
I think we're in 13 markets, so we have 13 fulfillment pharmacies. We're able to grow in the existing markets that we have. But we're definitely looking at expanding into more markets as we have partnerships that bring us there. And so I think you should look for us to do more of the great service. We have a great NPS, Net Promoter Score, almost 90. I think the incumbents are -10. And so you can look for Alto to continue to focus on the patient experience and continuing to add value here. So I'm excited. We're just getting started.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.